Poetic Sound moves in. Burdett Road, the last of the 22 to go in. That's it, they're all in. Stand by. They're off for the Sky Bet Ebor of 2026. Paradias down on the inner. Red Cap wasn't the swiftest into stride. A few of those out wide are taking a while to track over. Poetic Sound in the blue and orange out deep is handy. So too is Love Me Tender. White jacket with a pink cap. They go steadily through the first furlong. Spinning Wheel in a silver jacket is out widest of all at the moment. Burdett Road in a sheepskin noseband is down at the running rail prominent, with Real Dream in the black and yellow. Dark blue and white cap for Ryan Moore aboard a mitt in the leading line. And Paddy the Squire in the shades of green is just in behind them as they complete 2.5 furlongs. And in rear, the grey square necker darts right across and shuffles the pack into midfield. So Spinning Wheel still racing wide, dropping into about 6th or 7th place as the nose-banded Burdett Road leads to Align the Stars, Mr. Hollywood in the green and white, and then Real Dream and Emit and Love Me Tender. Daiquiri Bay in the beige and green checks down on the inner, just ahead of Hopewell Rock and Paddy the Squire. Firther is caught fairly wide, the yellow and mauve for the champion jockey. Class leader at this stage just has to shuffle around in mid-division in the light blue and pink. He was a little bit caught on heels. Opportunity, the red cap, is on his immediate inner. And then Square Necker, the grey, ahead of Tarians for the pink cap down at the running rail, followed by Poetic Sound and Ascending. And then back to Epic Poet and Circus of Rome. Stress Free is racing towards the rear of the field with Baylor Bay. And from a slow start, Paradias is last of all as they go through halfway in the Sky Bet Ebor. It's Burdett Road, Align the Stars in a yellow jacket, just shading second to Spinning Wheel. Real Dream is down at the rail, racing closer, working across to Emit. And then Love Me Tender and Paddy the Squire out wide with Mr. Hollywood deepest of all. Opportunity in the white-faced Daiquiri Bay next to Firther and Tarians, cutting the corner to Hopewell Rock and Square Necker. Poetic Sound, class leader, well back with Epic Poet, and then Ascending Circus of Rome. Stress-free, Paradias has made a place. Baylor Bay is going to be last into the straight as the nose-banded Burdett Road brings them towards the near side and on down towards the last half mile in the Ebor. Real Dream, black and yellow checks, is chasing. Align the Stars ridden along. Emit the white cap. Spinning Wheel close the rail. Mr. Hollywood jostling for a position against the fence. Paddy the Squire against the rail is nowhere to go. Out on the right, Opportunity with the gold sleeves is coming through. Next to him, Tarians, Hopewell Rock and Paradias extreme right running on. Down inside the last quarter mile they come, and it's Opportunity who's moved through. Hopewell Rock giving chase. Here comes Daiquiri Bay with a big white face. Then Tarians, Burdett Road, Ascending and Paradias. Daiquiri Bay hit the front, passing the furlong, hard under the rail. Hopewell Rock, though, drawing up sides. Opportunity is battling on. Three of them diving for the line. Daiquiri Bay, Hopewell Rock in the centre. Very close, couldn't split him in the Ebor. Opportunity snapping at the heels. Then Ascending, Baylor Bay running on. And Stress Free, not beaten far.
Terrific finish. Daiquiri Bay looks to have won the Sky Bet Ebor for Alan King, and Rossa Ryan has beaten Hopewell Rock, a fine run in second, and in third the owner mate Opportunity, and in fourth is Ascending, and fifth is Baylor Bay, and sixth is Stress Free, and seventh is long-time leader Burdett Road. It's close if you're getting paid out any further than that for 8th place, but I think 8th has gone the way of class leader, narrowly ahead of Tarians, but the victory goes to Daiquiri Bay, undefeated this season, follows up his Ascot success in the Copper Horse with a thoroughly gritty success in the Ebor. He emulates last year's winner Ethical Diamond by winning feature handicaps at the Royal Meeting, and this most significant handicap in Europe.
The photo finish for first place, first number 8, Daiquiri Bay.
Daiquiri Bay the winner in the colours of Stennett and Hodgson. Huge draw from the crowd, 10-1. Alan King trains the Ebor winner, and Rossa Ryan, successful yesterday, just touched off in the Yorkshire Oaks, has another winner at this famous festival. And if they're invited to go to Melbourne, which they are, frankly, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, we're fully entitled to, wouldn't he? He's just been on a roll this season. 3 from 3 now since he's been gelded. Won a good handicap at the Guineas meeting over 1.5 miles. Stepped up to 1.6 miles in the Copper Horse, where he had a bunch of rivals who he reopposed here, and he's got up late on. He's got a £5 climb in the ratings here. Rossa Ryan on his back, who gets on really well with him. Rossa nearly won the Yorkshire Oaks the other day, but he's won the big one of the week here.
Yeah, they're three super progressive horses, the front three home. Early point to note as we take the replay is the favourite, the very pale colours, about middle of the front rank there, pulling too hard, no cover.
Yeah, too keen, didn't get any cover. Compare that to the first three home, Nick. They're not actually far away from the gallop, but they're getting a load of cover, and they are saving ground around the inside. And I think for much of it, they end up towards the centre of the track rather than the stand side once they get into the straight. I don't think you want to be. No notable speech ended up here, but he spent much of the race in the middle of the track up the straight, and he was pretty impressive. But they've got into a nice rhythm, and that is something that the favourite Love Me Tender didn't manage to do. He was wasting energy through the early part of the race.
Yeah, Burdett Rhodes ran a fine race. He's hung on, I think, for 6th or 7th, something like that.
Yeah, he's done well because he was obviously in the firing line. He's leading now as they approach the end of the back straight. Wathnan have obviously gone very close here. Opportunities run a blind run under a big weight. Rated 110, 9 stone 10 on his back. Ran in the group race last time out. And Hopewell Rock's backed up that win at Goodwood last time out. He's just narrowly missed out today. Again, he's a fast improving 4-year-old.
Yeah, Hopewell Rock, the bronze sleeves and cap, another fine ride from Callum Rodriguez, who's building up a really good association with Wathnan. He's such a patient rider, and he's at the top of his game at the moment. The Wathnan apparent first string, red cap Opportunity, though he was a bigger price, he's run a great race as well under top weight.
He has, massive race under top weight, because, you know, 110, like the last couple of horses that have won this race off that kind of mark, and I know he didn't win it, but he near as damn it won it, and he was carrying a little bit more. Went on to win an Irish St Ledger in the case of Sonny Boy Liston, and for Gerard Pritz, he was second in an Irish St Ledger. I think they both won it off 108. He's beaten a short head of 110, so that kind of performance suggests that he might be a group class stayer going forward and can be competitive at that sort of level. Obviously, he ran in Group 3 company last time out, and he's well up to winning in one of those.
Good run from Ascending as well, who was second in the race last year. He's back to that same mark. He just had to go around horses. He's had to challenge on the outside, but he's run on to well get 4th position. And there's Alan King. Yeah, the conversation afterwards could be quite interesting, because I'm sure he made a comment at Royal Ascot. Jumping was the plan, but that could be on hold now. Yeah,
I think I might put that in the fridge for a while.
Yeah.
10th runner in the Ebor for Alan King. His best finish was 3rd with Salsalino in 2003, who was a very, very heavy favourite that year. He went on 4-1. The Betchworth Kid ran a very good race, 7th in 2009. He came in here with 2 strong chances, this one the most compelling of them, and he produced a thoroughly genuine performance. As I say, colours of Alan Stennett that you'll know well from lots of good horses down the years with Alan King and Philip Hobbs and others, and co-owned by Christopher Hodgson, who's been a stalwart of the Jockey Club for many years, and I can see him here in the winner's enclosure today, so it'll be a very popular success. And what a nice horse.
Yeah, class leader I think is a bit better than he was able to show, maybe. He finished off quite well. He got tightened up a little bit. I think it was Ascending that came across. Just keep an eye on him. He's moved Bailey Bay, but he's going nowhere really at this point. He just has to keep switching out, and the race didn't fully get to the bottom of him, I don't think.
Tarian travelled strongly into it, didn't he? He looked a big player too, a bit like the Goodwood run. He was still on the bridle, looked a big player, and then he got tired later on.
But Daiquiri Bay wins. Hopewell Rock 2nd. Opportunity is 3rd in the Sky Bet Ebor. It'll be fascinating to listen to Alan King now and Rossa Ryan, see what their plans are with this horse.
Tom Stanley's just wondering whether runner-up's rider's dropped his stick.
Well, we can take another look at it, I think. See whether he has dropped his stick, Callum Rodriguez, and whether that might have made the difference. Here we are, bronze sleeves and cap coming in from behind us. Devin He's still got his stick at the moment in his right hand. There, it's gone. Spot on. What a spot from Stanley. He did indeed. He dropped his stick, and he dropped it with 5 cracks left if he'd wanted them. So who's to say that hasn't made the difference? It was very, very close, and the horse was giving quite generously. Well, yikes.
Yeah, he'll be kicking himself, won't he, with that, because, as you said, there was quite a while left, and he'd only given him one. And with the margins involved at the line, it may well have made a difference, so he'll be frustrated.
I was saying what a good ride he'd given the horse. I hadn't spotted that he dropped his stick. It was certainly a good ride in terms of where he positioned him and where he came to deliver his challenge, but might have been a different story had he managed to keep hold of it. He didn't. Rossa Ryan did. This horse has got a terrific attitude anyway, Daiquiri Bay. Undefeated this season, he's returned at this price.
Well found in the market. What a race it was, Nick. Relatively slowly run again, a bit like the Melrose. Did dropping the Pro Couche stick make the difference? Was it the difference maker? It's insult to injury, isn't it, for Callum Rodriguez and Hopewell Rock team, because it's only fair to say, strong argument, Rossa Ryan shouldn't even be riding this week. Ooh. Fair argument. Ooh. Don't want to go back to that though. 10-1 Daiquiri Bay, Hopewell Rock 13-2, Opportunity 14-1, Ascending was 28-1, Bela Bay was 5th, Stress Free 6th, Burdett Road 7th, Class Leader 8th. Oh, that's the way they finished down the field in the Ebor. What was the time? 3 minutes, 0.61, 4 seconds slower than standard. A cracking performance from Daiquiri Bay. He wins at the Guineas meeting, he wins at Royal Ascot, and now he wins at the Ebor.
I've waited 4 days to see a smile on the face of Rossa Ryan, and finally we've got it with Daiquiri Bay winning the main race of the 4 days, the Sky Bet Ebor on Daiquiri Bay. Many congratulations. That's satisfying, isn't it?
It is, yeah. After the last couple of weeks, like the only thing when I was going for the appeal was getting back for this lad and Orthodox tomorrow, and gladly one has done the business, so hopefully we can roll on to tomorrow. But what can I say about the trainer? He's an absolute genius. We sat down in the office in April and mapped out a plan up to Ascot, and then after Ascot we sat again and thought about this, and Alan thought maybe we get a run somewhere, and I thought I'd leave him and come straight here, and after a week of thinking about it, he says, right, we'll go straight there, and he had him spot on, absolutely spot on.
So talk me through the race itself.
I didn't see a whole lot of pace on paper. Bar down at the start, Burdett Road, Harry seemed very anxious to go forward with him. So I popped forward, and I was going probably the first 2 furlongs as fast as I could, and then I slotted away on in. The thing about this lad this year is I'm not scared to be aggressive on him. He'll settle where I put him. And I just got a bit of a nudge. I got kind of tight for room at the 1-mile start, you could say, and it just kind of fired me out a small bit around the bend, and I ended up landing onto the back of Ryan, and from there on in then it was fairly clean sailing. I followed Ryan up, and then a gap came between Ryan and someone closest to Sam's rail, and I just gave my lad a kick in the belly to go through, and he was dang there and ready. And when I went from, I thought I'd be able to get there without hitting him a slap, and he was just a bit unsure, and then I gave him one dig and he dropped down. We've always felt this lad on soft ground will bring out the best in him. We went to Ascot off 100 carrying top weight thinking we were well handicapped, and then coming here getting a 5-pound hike, yeah, that was harsh. Well, it is what you get for winning a handicap in Ascot, but when the soft ground came, I just thought we could really be in play here. I think we could possibly be nicely handicapped still, and it's proven today. Look, the same went for Hopewell Rock, and I suppose the support before, I had a look at the phone before I went out, and the support that came for Hopewell Rock. But this lad beat him on fast ground in Newmarket, and he hates fast ground, but we've had a break where he went to Goodwood, so no, well planned, but everything that needed to fall right fell right, and delighted.
And in that ding-dong with Hopewell Rock, an opportunity there as well. Were you always fit? Was he always holding?
He was always, I thought he was always pulling out enough, but he only does enough. Like, he's beaten Gamrai twice before this, and he's only beaten him a half a length every time. And he's only won a neck there ahead today, but I always thought I was doing enough. I didn't think I was getting to the end of my tether. This lad just probably looks after himself, love it, nicely, but, you know, he's that bit older, he's a lot more mature now, so I don't know where we go from here. Hopefully that'll be a conversation we have next Friday in the office.
Well, I was going to ask, has the planning with Alan extended in any way beyond this? Obviously this is a win and you're in race for the Melbourne Cup, but from what you've just said there about ground, I wouldn't be sure that you'd be a fan of that, would you?
I don't know. I'd be happy to go because it can turn up soft in Melbourne. He's won on fast, rock hard ground in Ascot, so he's very versatile. And he can go a proper gallop early and then drop it and travel. I did have this laugh and joke after Ascot with Alan. He said, you know, after the Ebor we'll probably go jumping. I said, well, if we win the Ebor we'll go to Melbourne and forget about jumping. And if he doesn't, you can go jumping with him. And he said, I laughed it off. He said, we'll see. But now it's a win and you're in. He's not entered, so let's see. He might, I don't know. I leave it to Alan. He knows what he's doing. I haven't sat in the Melbourne Cup horse, but all this lad has done is progressed through the year. And I wouldn't be fair to pitch him in a black type race here. And he's carried it with top weight, most of the handicaps, so yeah, why not?
Well, let's hope that Alan is persuaded. Many congratulations. It's great to see you smiling. Well done.
Thank you. Cheers. Thanks.
And the man who was given all the plaudits by Rossa Ryan during that interview, his post-race winning interview on Daiquiri Bay, was this man standing next to my left, Alan King, who said that was pretty special just there. And it was really, really special. But this has been a long-running plan, Rossa was telling me.
Well, really since Ascot. We had a chat the following week, and he said, look, he had a tough race at Ascot. We broke the track record. On ground, it was quick enough, and he just said, look, freshen him up and train him for the Ebor, and that's what we did. He had a couple of weeks on the water treadmill, which he loves, and, you know, it's easy to say, but the preparation's been perfect. We haven't missed a beat. The rain coming at the weekend was perfect for him. We've always felt he would be a better horse on slower ground, being a new bay. I think at Newmarket and Ascot, he won despite the ground, you know, and he did say that he seemed to let himself down better today on this ground.
Okay, Rossa said you got him absolutely spot on.
Well, I don't think we could have got him any better, yeah.
And what were you thinking? Talk me through your thoughts as you were watching the race.
No, I was stuck in the right place. You know, drawn one, I wasn't sure about that the other day when the draw came out, but he's quite a straightforward horse to ride. As Ross said, you know, you can send him early and then he'll relax. Sometimes you try and hold a position out of a low draw and you light them up, but he was 6th, 7th the whole race, and we always knew they were going to drift across, so I thought we had a great chance, and I thought Wathnan were coming to do me. Sorry, Bradley. But yeah, and he's held on. He's a tough horse.
And he's matured a lot this season.
Matured a lot, and gelding him helped. He was just getting a little bit sweaty and a little bit tricky in the stalls at the end of last year. You know, he ran very well here last year. He was third in the Melrose. But that's been the making of him, definitely.
And Rossa was also talking about whether you might have a flight on your mind, because obviously this is a win and you're in race for the Melbourne Cup. Are you tempted?
I don't know yet. Look, I do well to travel to York, so that's another thing altogether. We'll have to. I've got a joy today, and then we'll think about it. But I'm not sure. I don't know the logistics. I mean, I think I haven't had a runner in America. That's as far as we've ever gone, but that was a long time ago. But it's a nice problem to have, and we'll think about it.
You're not discounting it.
I'll be surprised.
Okay. Are you really going to go hurdling with him?
Probably not at the moment. He's in the Group 1 at Ascot in the end of the year, the long distance. We popped him in that a couple of weeks ago, but you know, we'll see. I'm not ruling anything around. He won't go jumping this winter, I wouldn't have thought.
You could have
Sorry, Belsey.
You could have a cup horse on your hands.
Could be, yeah, because he might improve again.
You're getting good at this flat game, aren't you?
Well, I've been at it a long time. Yeah, everyone forgets that, but I mean, Sal Salina was favourite in this Ebor as a 3-year-old in 23 years ago and finished
23 years ago,
2003, really? I think. So I've been training flat horses for 20 odd years. I think we've had over 400 winners.
I suppose the emphasis is sort of, you know, your greatest successes have been synonymous with jump racing, but you've proved very much so that this.
We try to. We don't have a massive flat stream, probably 40, but we want sort of horses that are good enough to come to the big meetings, and that's what we try. And if they're not quite up to that, then they'll go jumping. But you know, the hope is they're always too good to go jumping. Hence, Trushad never did, and you know, this fella probably won't know either. But we buy nice horses, Bromley and I, that you know they'll get the trip, and if they're good enough, they stay on the flat. If they're not, they go jumping, and if they're really no good, they go somewhere else. You know.
So, how many winners on the flat were you saying? Over 400.
It's well over 400, yeah. And we just tick away at it quietly. So.
And what is this horse? I mean, this horse must be generating some excitement in your yard. You've just lost Edward Stern. He's retiring, and you know he's your flag bearer over jumps. Having a horse to focus on must be great for the team.
You know, hopefully this lad will be more flat. He might sort of. No one's going to replace Trushad, but he's up there with that. You know, you can come to the big meetings with him. As regards Edward Stern, well, I've got a few lovely, nice bumper horses and things to get going with, and we'll see if we can find one there. But jumping-wise, we're really relying on I'm relying on the owner breeders, you know, Robert Whaley Cohns and the Holmeses and people like that. We don't buy many jumpers anymore, so you know, we put most of the money into the flat team, and it seems to be working.
Absolutely, it's working. And so, what's this success mean to you? All the things that you've achieved in your fabulous, enviable career. What does this mean to you?
It's well up there to win an Ebor, and I don't know. I think the older I get, the more emotional I'm getting. But it's bang up there. Of course, it is.
Good to hear, and you should get emotional because you know this is a superb achievement to add to your many superb achievements. Well done.
Kind. Thank you.
Well done.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.